Time for our daily fact of the day for National Cancer Prevention and Early Detection Month. I'm Dr. Eleanor Czaplinski, board certified medical oncologist, and I want to talk to you about this headline in the New York Times yesterday that asks, should alcoholic beverages have cancer warning labels? And it's in reference to the fact that Ireland, starting in 2026, will now require all containers of alcohol that are sold have the label that states there is a direct link between alcohol and fatal cancers. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this and whether we should be thinking about something similar in the United States. Now, as a medical oncologist, I'm really in support of some sort of labeling on alcoholic containers talking about the risk for cancer. And the reason that I'm in support of this is alcohol is a class 1 carcinogen. It is in the same category as asbestos, as tobacco, and we have warning labels on tobacco. Despite that it is a class 1 carcinogen, many people are unaware that alcohol increases the risk of many cancers, including head and neck, breast, esophagus, colorectal, pancreatic, and others. And putting it on alcoholic containers hopefully will increase the messaging and get awareness out and the word out to the population that alcohol is a cancer risk factor, because again, many people are unaware. Now, one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, well, how does alcohol increase cancer risk? And it does so by a number of different mechanisms, but some of the mechanisms include direct damage to the liver, direct damage to DNA, it raises estrogen levels, and it also increases exposure to carcinogenic contaminants, usually contaminants that can be introduced into the alcohol during the fermentation and production processes. So these are just some of the ways that alcohol increases cancer risk. Now, really, there's no safe amount of alcohol. When people say to me, I still want to continue drinking, what's a safe amount? I always say, look, there is no safe amount, but we do think that less than 3 drinks per week, that risk is quite low in comparison to when you start drinking more than 3 drinks per week. I always also ask people to think about why they're consuming alcohol, what their reasons behind it are. I think that's really, really important. Are you drinking alcohol for stress management, coping? And then there are other ways and other healthier behaviors that we can use to manage those. And lastly, another question I get asked a lot is in terms of, alcohol for cancer survivors. Now, the data for alcohol and cancer risk really is stronger in the more preventive population and reducing the incidence of cancer, but we really extrapolate that data for patients who've been diagnosed with cancer, because also, that will impact risk of other cancers as well. Not to mention that reducing or eliminating alcohol consumption has so many other benefits, not just for cancer risk, but I think that that's a huge point to keep in mind as well. And I always say that drinking alcohol does not mean you will get cancer. Not drinking alcohol does not mean you won't get cancer. But it is a risk factor, and it can be cumulative and additive with other risk factors to modify your cancer risk. Let me know your questions.